I hope what happened yesterday with this computer or internet will not happen today. Mayowa. I hope you have checked your... Okay, let's go and check. Let's go and share the link, everyone. Good day, good evening, welcome. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I don't think notification went out. Okay. Darlene Madu, good evening. How are you today? Tiewu Aboaba, blessings. Long time. I've not seen you for some time. Oh. Blessed. William Olatunde Ilo or Ilo. Blessings. Anne-Marie, blessings. Nick Joyce Arrow, blessings, welcome. Paul Oriade, welcome. Nice to see you guys. Patty Pat, I really pray that today we'll go through because such an important personality I want us to examine. Such a good example. Innocent Magaji, bonsoir. Nkiro Jimadu is here. Ben Apute, I'm expecting you tomorrow. Apute Ben. Now you go be the hero tomorrow. Although my wife would have been a great thing for the Ojimadus, but they might not be ready yet. Since they are going to be here. Not yet. Okay. Okay. Oluwato in Bidemi. Blessings. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jane Musanka. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Adiola Disu, good evening. Justin Mayo. Welcome. Julian Goya. Welcome. Denise, welcome. Edwin Amimi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ufu Oma Anigoro. Bless you, welcome. Ireti Akinrowo, blessings. I hope you will soon be in Ukraine. Obia Ojimadu is here. Blessings, blessing. Well, while you people are coming in, I want to begin to take up from where I stopped last night. I'm sorry for what happened. First of all, let me apologize for that. Last night, something went wrong with the computer. I don't quite know what it was, but we couldn't just get the thing to work. I was not even aware that it was frozen. I kept on talking until somebody alerted me of that. So sorry for that. But today, I really hope that things are going to go well. And believe you me, this personality that we're going to talk about is so worth it, so worth it. Okay, so today, my message is part 2. I don't know if my people put part 2. Don't forget Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Dietrich Bonhoeffer part 2, of course. Don't forget Dietrich Bonhoeffer part 2. Now, I've given a little bit of his story, a summary of his story yesterday, but I will just run over it a little bit. But today I want to talk about his principles. So Dietrich Bonhoeffer is a German that really was zealous for God. And because he was zealous for God, he decided to go to study theology in America. But he was so good there that he got a job with one of the leading theological schools there in Germany. And so he became one of the leaders of the school. He became a worker and the leader, one of the directors, one of the managers of that school. So, you know, it's like his destiny and his fate is made up. It's made. It's been so successful. So, but at the end of the day, something very interesting happened. Because, was it ID? You are the one I was using as an example yesterday. Make you continue where I left you from yesterday. Okay. By the way, congratulations on your, was it yesterday you did it? Or today? It was today you did it, yeah. Congratulations on your first live broadcast. People, they talk now. This message, they walk. People are coming out now to reveal the truth, to expose the truth. Everybody is starting their own platform and their own program now. So, ID, can you imagine you are in America? Let's say you are Dietrich. You are in America. You've done so well for yourself. God has blessed you. And then you are now one of the leaders, one of the heads of this theological school. And it's called Union Theological Seminary. And so this is just the time when it's like time for you to begin to reap. When you are now being paid in American dollars. And then all of a sudden, you heard about the news that back in your country, let's say Nigeria, that there is supposed to be things are bad there, that the country is about to break apart and to be disintegrated. But in Germany, something similar was happening. The country was falling apart because of the regime of one man, Adolf Hitler. And this man decided that, he made a decision. He said, if I stay here in New York and just keep on working and praying, because that's what most people will do. Most people will just go ahead and be praying for their beloved country. It is so beloved that the only prayer they could send there. So instead of just praying for his beloved country, Germany, he said, no, that will not go. That is not the attitude of a real Christian. If I'm a real Christian, I must not be too afraid of pain, consequences for him personally. I must not be too afraid of personal losses. I must not be too afraid to do what is right. And I know that what is right now is to go and be with my people, is to go and be with the people of Germany in their time of need, especially with the Christians. Since I said I'm a Christian leader, and the Christians are being persecuted now, and the Christians who opposed Hitler were being put in the concentration camp and were being, killed. So this man said, you know what? I would rather lose my comfort, but do what is right. The question I have for you people who are watching me today is, how many of you will be bold enough to take that kind of decision? Will you be ready to leave your home country? I mean, your country where you are settled, where God has blessed you. And many of us who are here with me are foreigners. You are immigrant in your country of abroad. So like myself, I am not I'm a Nigerian. So Nigeria is my native country. And now I am here. So will I be bold enough? Will I love God to that extent? Can I love my people to that extent? Can I love the truth to the extent of saying, let me leave my comfort here. Let me leave my high heel here to go back to Nigeria. When I even announced to the world that I'm going back to Nigeria, everybody, my friends, pastors, even these are men of God, these are seasoned men of God. You know what they were telling me? And they were saying, how could you labor in a foreign land and not wait to eat the fruit? They said, no, but that is a curse. They said here, the prayer you pray is that may God never allow that to happen to you. That you will suffer, and then when it's about time to begin to enjoy, that you now leave that place where you have suffered and go back to begin to suffer again. They said that to them is like a curse. That, Pastor, may that not be your portion. Yeah. May that not be your portion. They are praying for me. Wishing me good, wishing me well. So they are not even wishing me to be in the will of God. They are not wishing me to do what pleases God. They are not wishing me to please the heart of the Father. They are not wishing me to seek the face of God and make sure that I'm pleasing Him and I'm doing what God wants me to do. They are not pleased, even talking about the principles that, that what principle are you following? And the same thing, I'm sure, this Dietrich Bonhoeffer went through. Dietrich Bonhoeffer decided that he was going to resign his job as a director in the Bible seminary, theological seminary, and go back to Nazi Germany, where Adolf Hitler was sending people to concentration camp left, right, and center, where he was killing people, gassing them, and just doing some horrible thing. And he knew, he was aware that anything could happen. But you know what his argument was? He said, let's say you had he said, yes, you people who are convincing me to wait till the war finishes before I go to Germany to go and help. He said, I understand you. But if I stay back right now when the war is going on, when it's tough for the people, I stay back in the comfort of New York and until the war finishes. And now after the war finishes, I said, now I'm now going with humanitarian project. He said, I will not have the moral confidence and the moral weight and the moral, what do you call it, authority to participate in the restoration of the country. He said, I don't want to participate after the war has been won. I would rather participate, contribute, make my quota when they are most difficult, when people are suffering the most, not when their suffering is almost over or is over. And you know what he did? He went, he resigned his job and moved to Germany. But you wait, that's not even the most alarming thing this man did. You know the most alarming thing he did? He left a few months after I just wedded. And that's still not the end of the story, because he left the wife behind so that he would go and navigate and see things for himself. Either to get her later on or not. As soon as he landed, he was arrested and sent to the concentration camp. He never saw her again. Few months, bride, wife, family. But he kept on talking and, kept on doing the most he could do. Kept on writing and kept on, protesting and doing as much as he could. But let me tell you the most tragic event that really happened. Hitler capitulated in April 20-something of April. Died. And in April, 2 weeks before then, this guy in the concentration camp, just before the end of the war, 2 weeks to the end of the war, he was killed. He was murdered. So he stayed there the whole war, all the suffering. 2 weeks just about to finish. Because they were executing them, by bash by bash. It was his bash. But you wait. The interesting thing about this whole story is that if he had stayed back and not been killed, if he had stayed back, he was hung, he was hanged. But he would have if he had stayed back, he would have preserved his life. Okay? Are you listening to me? If he had stayed back, he would have preserved his life. He would have lived for long. If he had stayed back, he would have had children with his wife or fiancé. If his children would have been alive today. If he had stayed back, he would probably have gone back there after the war and still contribute and still help in building the country. But one thing would have been the same. You know, one thing that would not be the same is example. It would have been without a name because nobody would have remembered him. He left a bigger legacy and a bigger memory for standing for what he believed and for standing for what is right. In death, he immortalized himself. That is why sometimes death is better than life. Dying sometimes is superior to living. Risking life at times is preferable to running from death, from preserving life. That might not be logical to a lot of people, but you know what? It is the wisdom of God. Whatsoever you are willing to preserve and to keep, normally you lose it. But when you are ready to lose something, and you indeed lose it, like in this case, that could be the greatest thing that will happen to you. But it's so, you really need to develop your spirit before you could come to this kind of conclusion. You really need to be very matured. You really need to be, because he didn't know that this is lectures and his books and his writings and his articles will be preserved and will be immortalized. He just did it by faith. But because by faith he was following the principle of the immortal God, that immortal God that he was following will make him immortal. That immortal God that he was following is trying to prove to us that the principle that he is following are immortal. And because the principles are immortal and he committed himself wholly and totally to those principles, he will be resurrected by those same principles. Those principles will keep him immortal, not just in heaven, but on earth and in the world to come. That's why Jesus said, those who really believe in me, those who believe in me proper, even if they die, they will never die. They will live forever. Why? Because my principles live in them. That is why truth is superior to human wisdom. Because the greatest commitment is commitment to the truth, not to your fears. So once you are committed to the truth will resurrect. Even if that truth is being killed and murdered and cut into pieces 1,000 times, every time, every part of that truth is going to be resurrected. And once the truth is going to be resurrected, and once the truth resurrects like that, the one who believes and committed himself to that truth is resurrecting with it. So, the greatest thing that could happen to this man, DIETRICH Bonhoeffer, is because he stood for what he believed. He stood by the truth. Okay, Olukayode is asking, sir, for clarity, how will you differentiate his action from suicide mission? Oh, suicide mission doesn't have anything to do with commitment to the truth. Suicide mission is not based on some principles of truth or principles of eternal truth. Suicide mission is normally a risk taker. Suicide mission is always, some people being driven by some made up or by some manipulation or some, misunderstanding of some sort. But here, this man is committed to the truth of standing for what he believed, standing for the truth of God and of the word of God. Based on that, thank you so much, Heidi. Based on what you just said now, I'm going to give you the principle that this man believed, okay? Not all of them. He has a lot of quotations, but I'm going to give you those quotations that I think most depict his ideology, principles, and what he believed in. But what I would do actually is that I want to also do a whole week just on the doctrines and the principles of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. I'm going to do a whole series on the principles. You will not believe it. I have my own revelation, my own insight on some of his truth, and you'll just be blown away. Okay, one of the quotations he said is, "I have come to the conclusion that I made a mistake in coming to America, because it was like me, like most of us today, economic refugee. Although I would not call myself economic refugee because we came on scholarship, really. So, but a lot of our people are going as economic refugees out of Nigeria and to Europe and to all the countries. People they are not going on scholarship, they are not going to study, they are just running away. So, but he admitted, but how many of us can stand up to our fault and to our mistakes and admit those mistakes and then be willing to do restitution and to make amends? So that's what he did. Those are the things that made him great. He didn't just do the talk. Okay, can you imagine that if he had said this, that I made mistake by coming to America, then he went back home after the war? It means he talked the talk, but he never he never walked the walk. And so that's why he became a monumental figure in Israel. And like I said yesterday, this man is being adored and worshipped and loved by both the right and the left. He is loved by both the Democrats and the conservatives. He is loved by both the activists who are conservatives and especially even people who are socialists and communists. Why? Because they said he's one of the few men in history that, in modern history that is, that actually walk the walk. They don't just talk the talk. And he's one of the real Christian figures from the days of the patriarchs who actually demonstrated that Christianity is still alive today and that the gospel of the scriptures, that they could still be lived for and died for. So if he had just said, "Oh yeah, I made a mistake from coming to Germany, I want to go back after the war is finished," nobody would have paid attention to what he's saying today. But because he actually left the comfort zone and went there when things are tougher and most difficult, now people believe that, yeah, this man is for real. He believes it and is ready to die and put his life online for what he believed. So he said, "I have come to the conclusion that I made a mistake in coming to America. I must live through this difficult period in our national history with the people of Germany." For me now, I'm so comforted that I'm not ashamed now to read the scripture. I am not ashamed because I would have been contemplating before that, what about me? I'm writing about this man, I'm saying this man is a hero, but I'm staying here while Nigeria is falling apart. Even though I'm trying to do my best from here. But in my own case, God knows better. God knows that if not for this lawsuit, I would have been gone. And God put me under a situation whereby even if I want to go, I have to wait for the lawsuit to be over. So God knows that if I go out of emotions rather than out of wisdom, that like Nigeria, people hate me like crazy now, especially pastors. I read every day what pastors are writing. They said I'm bashing Nigerian pastors, so I'm spoiling their business, so they are out to get me. So God knows what he's doing. He's going to release me and make me to be able to go at his own time. Because if I have not been held back like that, I would have just done it out of determination and all that. But I'm not ashamed now because I know that I'm ready to go. It's just God has not released me to go back. But I'm ready to go back and to go and be with my people and to do just like him in the most trying period of history, to stay with the people. He says, "I will have no right to participate in the reconstruction of Christian life in Germany after the war. If I do not share the trials of this time with my people, if I do not share the trials of this time, then I don't have the moral right to go back and participate in the reconstruction after the war." So it's to walk the walk. He stood his ground and walked the walk. So that's why he was so honored and respected and loved. The next statement, another groundmaking statement and quotation that is credited to him says, you could see, if you begin to read all his works and his quotations, you will know that this man was a man of principle. No doubt. He believed in his principles and he lived according to them. So, then what is another thing he said is, on silence, another thing he said is, silence in the face of evil is itself. This is one of the most popular things he said, and it's most, at least some people say it's not the one who said it, but it doesn't matter. That's what is most credited for. That silence in the face of evil is itself evil. This is in line with kind of thing we have been talking about. And by the way, I see Amorashi Jerry. I see Amorashi Jerry is here. And I want to commend you that you started to talk and you started to write articles. I think Olukayo Dekundayo also has started to write articles. And I see that people from the platform have really started taking on the challenge. I even see that Pastor Clement has started to do video. And that's what we need. We need as many voices as possible to begin to talk and address, either to write or to talk, or, just to begin to break that culture of silence that has just, suffocated our people. We need to begin to talk about the truth and expose the truth. So he says, silence in the face of evil is itself evil. God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act. Amazing. That is to say that if anything is going wrong and we keep quiet, we're actually speaking. Our silence is condoning whatever evil is going on. So if some evil things are going on in our church, in the congregations that we attend, and it's a widespread thing and the thing is really bad, we are condoning it when we are silent about it. Because not to speak is to speak. Not to act is also action. Your silence and lack of action is a position. In silence, you are agreeing with the evil that is happening. So silence in the face of evil is itself evil. Then, another quotation that is credited to him says, Jesus Christ lived in the midst of his enemies. At the end, all his disciples deserted him. On the cross, he was utterly alone, surrounded by evildoers and mockers. For this cause, he had come to bring peace to the enemies of God. So the Christian, too, belongs not in the seclusion of a cloistered life, but in the thick of foes. Now, there are a lot of statements here, so let me read them one by one. Jesus Christ lived in the midst of his enemies. So that's the reason why he said he would not stay away from Hitler, but he would go in the midst of the Nazi Germany, where people hated him, where people hated what he stood for. He would not be so intimidated by fear. The question I have to all of us is, are we not intimidated by fear? Don't we stay away from controversy? One of the interviews that somebody asked me from Nigeria, my country, a journalist actually, is, why are you so controversial? Why do you like controversy so much? Why are you always running into? Everybody's running away from trouble. You are running into it. What is the problem? I said, controversy is synonymous to significance. Anytime you want to be relevant and significant, it will attract controversy. But if you don't love controversy and you stay away from controversy, it means that you eliminated yourself from significance. Because there is no way you'll be popular. You show me a popular or a successful human being that doesn't have stories and controversy surrounding in their lives. It's not possible. So if you are afraid of controversy and you still want to live for God, it's not possible. Even the Bible says that if you want to live a godly life, you'll be persecuted. Even if you want to live a godly life, just by godly itself, you want to please God, by all means, 100%. You want to do your job, your best to please God, you'll be persecuted. There is just no way. The same thing, if you want to live a successful life too, you cannot be utterly and totally successful without being controversial. So if controversy is your problem, controversy is synonymous to significance. If you are saying, I don't like controversy, I hate controversy, that means that you hate relevance and significance. If you say, I don't like significance, I don't like controversy, well, it means that you don't like to be significant. And there's no way you could be yearning in your heart to be significant and then still run away from controversy. So, believe me, guys, if you are afraid of controversy, change your mind from right now. I was like that. Can you believe it? There used to be a time that I was only thinking, okay, I like to be loved by everybody. Until I read when Jesus book say, if everybody is saying to you good words, and you are loved by everybody, warned. Oh, I said, no, that I don't want again. He said, woe unto you if you are loved by everybody. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I got the opposite of being loved by everybody. Now I'm hated almost by everybody. And that is the normal thing. Even Jesus couldn't do it. Even Jesus couldn't make it to be loved by everybody. So you just embrace it. So if you really want to live right, if you want to live a godly life, if you want to live right, you must just admit already ahead of time that there are some people who are not going to like you, or who are even outrightly going to hate you. Controversy is synonymous to significance. So I threw away my dream of being liked and loved by everyone. And I began to embrace the life of controversy. Once the controversy started, you know what I discovered? Controversy is the stairways to fame. Controversy is the stairways or staircase to fame. Controversy is the staircase to fame. Because once the controversy started like this, they didn't stop until they led to the floor of fame. Controversy will always land you. It's a staircase that lands you on the floor of fame. So controversy leads to fame sooner or later. Even if it is wrong controversy or it's wrong news or even lie, deceptive news and everything, controversy always lead to fame. It is the way to be famous. There is no fame. You cannot be famous without controversy. So for you to be running away from controversy is for you not to understand life. For you to be running away from controversy is to be running away from the things you are dreaming of. For you to be running away from controversy is to be running away from the very thing that are supposed to make you who you need to be. So take care of yourself. Take it easy. Everything is okay. So the example of Dietrich Bonhoeffer was Jesus. And he says here that Jesus Christ lived in the midst of his enemies. He was not afraid or intimidated enough by the enemy to run away. And the question for you that I have is, are you intimidated by your enemies? Are your enemies forcing you to keep quiet? Well, I'll tell you what, it means then your enemies have become your Lord. You see, there is a history that I read. Can I see you? Can you come also? Who is another person I can use? I think I might have to call you this time. ID. You are a man, isn't it?
Yes,
you are not a girl.
Not a girl.
You are a man.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that one that is near you there, with the big ear, Is she a man or a girl?
I didn't know.
You don't know? I will tell you. I know she's a girl. I know. Okay? She's not a man. But you, at least you know who you are. Ah, okay, that's what is better. I thought you might not know also. So you know who you are. Who are you?
I'm a man.
Okay, and she's a
girl.
She's a girl. Good. So other men around you are now telling you, because what happened is that a controversy happened among you, or a conflict, and you know what the girl did to you? She moved to you and gave you a dirty slap. At least for at least one fact that you say you don't know that she's a girl. So she moved close to you and did the needful thing. Gave you a dirty slap. And then you say, you slapped me, you slapped me. Then the men that were around you came to you and said, did you just slap you? Why are you waiting? Are you not a man? Slap her back now. Not just slap her back, beat the nonsense out of her. And you know the answer that this man that I read about gave? The answer is this. We will not do that because I will not do that because I will not go down to her level. That if she slapped me, that I will slap her back. Now they said, I did, but other men do it now. Other men don't allow those kind of not rubbish. If a man will dare to lift a hand against us, we will just beat the hell out of her. If a woman will do that. You know what the man said? He said, well, I know that they do that. Men do. I know some men do that. But those men who do that are not my role models. I don't copy them. I don't copy. They are not my teachers. I cannot allow myself to be taught by people of lower value or lower essence. The people of lower degree, of lower essence, of lower value system. I cannot follow their example, because if I follow their example, it means I'm saying they are my teachers. They are not my teachers. I have a better teacher, Jesus Christ, who said, if they slap you in the one shake, give the second one. That is my teacher. That is my example. That is my role model. So, but why are you not defending your interests? Why are you not beating them back? Well, other people do it now. Well, those people who do it, they are not my role model. I don't care what they do. I'm not supposed to follow them. They are not my mentors. I know what my mentor demands me to do. I know what my mentor would have done. I know what my mentor would have done. How he has taught me. I have a role model, a better role model than that. A role model that is above. So I will not reduce myself to the place whereby people of lower values will be the ones for me to copy. I will rather copy the man who is my role model, a man that comes from above, man of a higher value system. So when next time you see other people doing something, you ask yourself, do I wish for them to be my mentor? Do I wish to follow them? Because if I follow them or I do as every other person does, it means I'm saying that person is my mentor. Now, for example, let's say whatever your country do. People in your country, everybody in the country is looking for money, living for money and everything like that. And you say, why are you not working for money? I'm not working for money. But that's what all your colleagues are doing. That's all your age mates are doing. Yes, those people who are doing that, they are not my role models. I don't fashion my life after them. I fashion my life after understanding of life. I don't know if you people get it. Don't just do what other people do. So if people are afraid of going to live amongst their enemies, that doesn't mean I have to be like that. Because they are not the authority for me. I have a greater example and a greater authority. And the greater example that I have said, God has not given us the spirit of fear. So I'm not afraid of going to live amidst the enemy. And the conventional wisdom is that if you see an enemy in your vicinity, run. But this man is telling us, no, if you see an enemy, go love on him. Because Jesus lived among people who hated him, among people who are ready to do evil to him, and among people who mocked him. Thank you so much, guys. Another thing we see in this sentence is that at the end, Jesus' disciples deserted him. And he was not afraid to stand alone. So the question I'm having for all of you is, are you afraid to stand alone? The fear of standing alone, the fear of being controversial, is it keeping you from telling the truth? Is it keeping you from standing for the truth? Is that fear keeping you from standing for what is right? The fear of being alone, being deserted. Okay, some people are saying, your disciples are leaving you now. Some of you, oh, even the closest are leaving you. Well, I'm in good company. I am in the company of the Lord Jesus Christ. You know what Jesus said when they came to tell him that his disciples are leaving? He said, maybe you too want to leave. So there is nothing strange and nothing uncommon in that. You must be ready to lose everybody willingly and not be afraid of that. Everything belongs to God. Everything is already yours. You cannot lose anything. Then he said, on the cross, he was utterly alone, surrounded by evildoers and mockers. What will happen when that happens to you? We used to be able to love like Jesus loved. For this cause, he had come to bring peace to the enemies of God. So he was even bringing peace to those who hated him, who were killing him. He was bringing them love, forgiveness. He was bringing them forgiveness, even in the process of them killing him. What is your own attitude to enemies? So DIETRICH Bonhoeffer, he offered us wonderful theologies into the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. That we are not to kill our enemies, because in some Christian circles, they don't just run away from the enemy, they even kill him. They won't pray that that enemy will die. But here, he was not running away from them, talk less of trying to kill them. He was going to live amidst them, to love them, and to show them God's nature. He was going to bring peace and reconciliation between their enemies and God and their Creator. So the Christian too belongs not in the seclusion of a clustered life, but in the thick of foes. Those are the things these guys say. Don't be afraid of enemies. Even if it is a thickness of foes, of enemies, go and give them love. Go and bring them peace. Go and bring them well. Wish them well. Go and bring them kindness. Dear children of God that are listening to me, remember the quotation I just read earlier before this. Silence in the face of evil is itself evil. Let me ask you guys, are there things that are taking place in your family? Now, I don't say go and be mentioning your family and be exposing your father and mother. I didn't say even go and expose your brethren or something. If you want, but I'm talking about exposing evil practices, not individuals. So don't go and be, saying I'm from this family, my father lives in that place, my mother lives in that place, my mother did this, my father did this. No. That's not your business. That will not be wise. We are talking about exposing evil. We are talking about, speaking out against evil, but not against individuals. So don't touch any human being. Our fight, our battle, or our warfare is not against flesh and blood. So don't begin to focus on individuals. Bless individuals, love individuals, but expose evil deeds. Expose evil deeds. Unless those evil deeds are already known, and everybody is already talking about it. Like the last time I spoke about that, the prophet something, everybody is already talking about that, and it's already in the internet. So that's different because you are not the first one to. You are not. Like, you didn't expose it because you are not the first one to talk about it. It's been exposed already. So, for example, people always tell me, "Why do you share things that are bad about other people?" I said, because it's already been written. I don't believe that. It's already out there. Even if I don't share it, other people will share it. You know, I'm not exposed. That is not called exposing. That is just sharing what is already out there. So if they don't even read it from me, they will still read it from somewhere else. That is different. I can only share what has been exposed when it comes to individuals. But what we are supposed to fight against are evil deeds, not individuals. So now the question I have is that what is your own culture? What is it? What is the culture that you are exposed to? What is it that is more prevalent in your response, attitudes, and reactions? Will you most likely be silent even when evil are going on around you? Will you rather just keep it to yourself and say it is not my problem? Will you rather be silent about destruction, injustice? If you do that, then you are not going to be guiltless. You are not going to be guiltless. You are not to be innocent. You are going to be guilty before the person you are afraid of, and then the people you refuse to stand for justice for, and then also you are going to be guilty before God. God will not hold you guiltless. Because even when you are quiet, that way you are actually propelling evil. DSA, is it okay to share the truth about the Sacramento experience with other people? Oh, yes, definitely. If you know the evil that is happening, not just the Sacramento experience, but even all the evil that is happening or being done by that man, since it's the truth, you know the truth, you can talk to people individually about that. And that is a whole organization where people are being captivated. You have to talk about that, the evil that is happening in that place, and that is being perpetrated by, you know, that person. So for sure, you have to. But you are not attacking individual. You are attacking the evil practices. But it's even worse to be silent. Because to be silent means to actually speak. Not to act, because it's not enough to just be speaking. Because if you will not act, it means you're actually acting. If you are not acting, it means that you are acting in support of the evil that is happening. How do you expose evil without exposing the individual that is doing well, that is doing evil? The way to expose them is the way I've been exposing them here. Just listen to all my teachings that have been coming in for the past 1 month. You will see that I'm exposing evil. I don't necessarily need to mention anybody, but once I say, for example, if you go to any church where people are telling you, you have 10,000, when they come here, God told me that 5 people or 10 people are going to give $1,000 each. And, you know, and if you are one of those 1,000 will raise your hand, and then, you know, 500, and then 300, and all that. If you go to a church where that is being done, run for your life. That is not a church, it's a cult. So once I say that, did I mention a name that way? No, I didn't mention a name, but I just mentioned the practices that are happening there. The evil that is being done, perpetrated there. For example, if I say any church you go to and you don't know what they are doing with your tithe and offering, keep your tithe and offering in your pocket, and rather use the tithe and offering for the change that you want to create by yourself. Use your tithe and offering to improve the lives of people. Use your tithe and offering to feed the poor, to take care of the needy. Jesus said, I was naked, you didn't clothe me. I was hungry, you didn't feed me. Did I mention a name that way? No, but I'm exposing evil. Once I say, for example, if you go to a church where they tell you you have to take permission before you do anything. You cannot go to anywhere. You cannot go to anywhere. You have to take permission. You have to come for blessing. That is a cult. Did I mention anybody? I didn't. But I mentioned the practice. I am attacking the evil. One of the reasons that we don't attack individuals is that individuals can still repent. And we want them to repent. Individuals can still change. And we want them to change. Individuals might not even know that they are doing evil sometimes. Might even be innocently faulty. Just like I said that I used to say tithe come to church before. And that I repented because I was looking for the truth and God helped me. So, you know, that's why, but if you begin to attack individuals, it's like you are, you know, condemning them already. That's why if you just expose the truth knows how to help people out later on. You get it? Okay, let's keep on talking about Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Another wonderful quotation that is credited to him says, "We are not to simply bandage the wounds of victims beneath the wheels of injustice. We are to drive a spoke into the wheel itself." What that is saying is that whenever we see injustice, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough for you to just say, okay, these are the victims of this problem. So let's just go and help them. Okay, you have come out now, so let's just help you. That is not enough. When you see that the thing is evil, attack the root of the evil itself. So that means, for example, if I say, if you go to a church where they say you need permission for anything you do, that without permission you cannot go anywhere. Without permission you cannot do this. Without permission you cannot do that. Pastor has to bless you for this. That, oh, thank God you have escaped. Thank God you have escaped. Don't worry. Let's just come here. And just be quiet. Thank God you have escaped. But you don't talk about it to expose that evil practice, then you are actually feeding and fueling the machinery that is doing that. For example, let me give you another example. Okay, I should repeat the quotation again. Let me repeat it for you. We are not to simply bandage the wounds of victims under or behind or beneath the wheels of injustice. What is wheel of injustice? Wheel is like the train. The wheel of the train is crushing people. So you took one out and you are bandaging it. You are supposed to stop the train, the wheel from rolling. Because when the wheel of the train is rolling, it's killing more people. That is what we should stop. Not just to say, I have bandage here. It's just like, you know, there is a certain article that came out recently. And the man said, why I left this particular church. And giving facts there. And somebody said, why should you mention the name of the church? Because he wants to stop the wheel. That is different. That is, you know, that is just pure fact. He wants to stop the wheel that is crushing people. And, you know, because it's a system. That is a whole system. You need to stop the system of evil, the system of injustice. Okay, for example, somebody just told me now that There is a certain church in Nigeria where if you try to expose them, they send assassins after you. Not even one church, many churches in Nigeria. If you are coming against them for too much, too much and too strongly, they send hired assassins against you. So I said, so why is nobody talking about it? Somebody told me that he even knows 4 cases when hired assassin was sent. 1 was killed, or 2 were killed. 1 escaped. 1, because it's an American citizen, they beat him, they did that. I said, if you talk again, finish. So, this is why you people not talk. If you talk, we don't go, I didn't die. So. That's why that evil is continuing to be perpetrated. That's why that evil continues to grow. Because people don't want to expose. People don't want to tell the truth. How can churches be sending assassins, armed robbers, to go and be killing people who disagree with them? That's why we must all speak out against all this evil that are there everywhere. So that's what he meant by this quotation. I will repeat that quotation again. We are not to simply bandage the wounds of victims beneath the wheels of injustice. We are to drive a spoke into the wheel itself. We are to stop the evil, the injustice itself. It's just like one girl now in this platform, on this platform said, I'm going to a certain church. If I mention the name of church, all of you know the church, where pastors are making all these choir members pregnant. And they came to church as virgins. And they are making them do abortions. And you are saying, thank God he has done the abortion. It's okay now, no problem. No. And then they will be making brothers to marry them. Because they will not know. They will say, don't worry, we'll secure your marriage. There is a sister here right now on my platform here today, right now. Brenda is her name. She's not afraid of saying it. In London, who went to the pastor to pray, because this pastor is a miracle worker, you know, all these miracle workers. The miracle worker from Nigeria, he came so that they do all kinds of miracles. If you are barren, or if you are barren, and what is it? If you are not married, if you are single, I will pray God will give you a husband. So this particular man of God said, in my church in Nigeria, I have all these many church, I have many branches, many church, big church, and I have all kind of men there. I mean, there are so many men in that church that the only thing I give husband, I can introduce you. Well, these are my sons. When I tell them to marry this one, he will marry you. So husband, no problem. I'm going to give you husband. Let me pray for you. I give you husband. But I must be the first one to try you. And then that's number 1, I think. And then the second thing is, even after you marry him, this is our agreement. You never stop me. It must be 3 of us in the marriage. That way, at least your home will be secured. These are big man. If I mention the name, you people will know it. So why do you say now that, okay, thank God we have saved that one? It's not enough to save that one. The wheels keeps on rolling and killing people. And you say we should keep quiet? This will not be the case. Even though I'm keeping quiet, I'm not mentioning the name. But as we are talking right now, at least somebody knows something somewhere. They will say, so I can come out. So that's why we must talk about these things. And the man called me one day and said I should invite him to my church here in Ukraine. And I just think, I didn't know this story then. I just didn't feel all right about that. And I'm thinking, okay, I just don't feel it. And I don't even invite too many Nigerians to my church, thank God. So it was after I refused, maybe I passed the test. God had mercy on me and made me hear this story. And now, can you imagine how many marriages? Can you imagine how many, couples he has wedded like that? And can you imagine how many, in fact, can you imagine? I never had the word threesome or threesome? Threesome. I never had the word threesome before in my life. The only, I never even did it. I said, I think I've been born again too long. I think I've been born again for too long. I'm too, they now say I'm behind. I'm too behind, I think. It's good not to be.
In this case, yeah.
Do you know how I got to know about threesome? It is through one of the men of God that was being accused. So I was in Nigeria. There is a certain man of God that was accused recently. about, you know, a woman came out and said, so the woman was talking about threesome that the man was saying, let's do threesome with some people. I said, what is this threesome? I'm just trying to answer. I will ask people, what is threesome? But it's just last week. Because I didn't get that threesome. I never got the answer to the end. Just last week, somebody was telling me what threesome was. I said, la, kuli. This with threesome. What language? This is they have grammar. I thought it was just some Nigerian jargon or Nigerian slang. That's what I thought. But now what I'm even thinking is that it's like that word threesome is an international word. It is. Because the person who told me about threesome now, who explained to me what it means, was a Russian. So if they know it, yeah, even here in Russia, they know what it means. Then the person, then it's just like you in America, somebody told, you know, another man told me about swinger or something. See, yeah, there's something they call swinger also. I said, my God, where are they? Russia, don't lock me up. I said, I didn't even do this. I didn't even heard all this. I didn't even heard of it. Believe me, I never even heard that these things existed. I said, where are they? They said somebody is writing DSA is old school. I think you can say like that.
No problem.
No problem. Okay. They said no problem. Somebody said DSA don't go so little too much. But I think there is an advantage. I think there is an advantage in that though. But okay, I don't know those ones, but that what they call. No, but then I know something else. And the other things I know, that's why people are coming to listen to what I'm saying. People don't know it too. So I don't know these other things. And then, but what I know, people don't know also. It's just like saying, we were going to swimming pool the other day. And I was telling the girls, because there was, you know, I think it was Mayowa, she likes beautiful things. So she saw all kind of beautiful cars in that place, in the swimming pool area, in the place where we went. And she was saying, Pastor, there are so many beautiful, I said, then I saw them. She said, they are beautiful cars. I said, Mayowa, can you believe it? That I don't even know the name of the car, my own car, what it's called. Up to today, as I'm talking, I don't know the name. I know it's Toyota, that's the company. But the name, no idea. But they said, but Toyota is ready. They said, Toyota is ready. I said, Toyota, how can it be ready? They said, no, each car has a name. If I didn't even bother myself. The same with Mercedes, the same with all other things. I don't bother myself. You know, there are some people who know the name of every Mercedes or Toyota or other things. I didn't have an idea at all. I didn't even know how many cars I have, but sometimes somebody told me that we have 5 cars. You think I know the name of any one of them? I don't know the name of any one of them. I'm not interested. It's not that I'm not capable of knowing if necessary, but what for? I don't just see the relevance. I'm not interested. I'm interested in other things. I want to create. I want to invent. I don't want anybody to invent, to improve me. I mean, to be making me to be following things that he created. Why I'm supposed to be thinking of what I could create. I don't know if you get it. Yeah. The same thing with iPad or iPhone. People tell me iPhone, this one number, this number, this. They say, tell me what is it? iPad, what number is it? Yeah, I don't know what number. I don't care what number. I don't know. So I was thinking it was our own that was old. I didn't even know that after my own, there are some numbers that have come out. They said, what number is your own? I said, it's either 2 or 3, one of them. They said, that's old. I said, okay. He said, yeah, what? I mean, I don't care for any number. I'm too busy thinking of what conversion I could do with my own head about what I already know. So, but I just choose my own thing, my own priority, what I want to know, what I don't want to know. So, but if it's a system that is killing people, that is destroying people, of course we need to expose that system. But, don't joke about me. Me, I know a lot of things, but I don't know the other things. Just one day I was doing this program here. Somebody was talking about some girls, Shakaran or something. They said they are beautiful girls. So I said, what's their profession? Are they artists or singers? They said they are Shakaran sisters. Shakaran sisters. They said they are artists or something or singers in America. They said they make a lot of money. They said they are beautiful girls and something like that.
Kardashian.
It's Kardashian?
Yeah.
Kardashian.
Yeah.
Kardashian. I thought it was Shakaran, people. It reminded me of Armenian name, and those Armenian is always
Armenian origin.
Shakaran, Kardashian.
Kardashian, they are Armenian origin.
But I said I never heard of it. How do you never heard of it? I said, why should I? I don't even say any connection. What are they doing that I should know them? You tell me. Or you were asking me about the other one, Beyonce or something. Are you not the one who was asking me about? You forgot? I said, I don't even know how she looks like, Beyonce. No idea how she looks like. I had the name, but no idea of how she looks like. I will not recognize. If you put two pictures before me, I will not say which one is Kardashian, which one is Beyonce. Because it's not my life. I'm doing my own thing. Everybody is busy their own way. Because those are the little things that are stealing your time. But I'm busy. I am personally fighting for my every minute. I'm personally fighting for my every hour. And my own problem is about converting. How can I convert the good things? How can I convert? I really what OB is writing. Yeah, that's compared to these people, what people know, yeah, it's like, is your right? Shakara sisters, indeed. So I have my own conversion to do. They are doing their own conversion. It's just like my daughters, for example. They used to watch movies a lot. So I said, okay, you come here. These movies we are watching there, there are some people, those people, what's the name of the people you are watching? They said, this is the name of this, is the name of this. I said, who are they? I said, are they actors or actors? They are actresses. Okay. I said, these people are actresses. So. I said, you who are here, what is that giving you that you are sitting there? He said, oh, there might be some lessons. I said, okay, good. I said, but those ones who are there, who are acting there, it is their job. That is what they are making money of. So I said, you tell me what you would like to prefer. Would you like to prefer to be the one that everybody is sitting there in their home to look at? Or you want to be the one to sit at home and be as an idiot looking at somebody who is making money off you? They never thought about it that way. I said, that's what, let me tell you the difference. The difference is that you have to perfect your own skill. If you are looking at that thing to perfect your skill, it's different. But just to entertain, you have become a biomass. But if you go perfect yourself somewhere so that you will be the one that people are looking at. So, oh wow, yeah. So because you are either the one in the camera, in the iPad, or you are the one from outside in the iPad. So in your own case, I would rather be the one inside. So what do I need to do for that? I'm not an actor. No, you don't need to be an actor, but you must have some added value. Convert those hours that you are using to sit down here and just laugh. She said this. Instead of using your time to just get entertained and pleasure like that, convert that time to added value to you. Once it is added to you like that, those values, then they will be other people will be watching you inside that box. That's when it got to them, yeah. Yeah, so, well, I see that you people are here, but, the story of this guy, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, is very interesting story. There are a lot of quotations I could bring out of his life. But like I said, I'm going to do a whole program about him for a week. I'm saying for a whole series about him, maybe for a week or for 2 weeks, because there are a lot to learn from him. And there are a lot of things to, learn from his wisdom. A lot of wisdom he has, and a lot of things to learn from those wisdom. And I'm going to come to you, exposing more, bringing out a lot of wisdom. I hope you've learned a little bit from his wisdom. But the idea is that this man is the most respected Christian right now out of the people who have lived our age, apart from Martin Luther King Jr. You know, he's definitely the most respected Christian out of Germany in this our generation. So there are two people. The reason I brought these two cases is that Martin Niemöller, his own was that he made the wrong choice. So that one and this one made the right choice. So Martin Niemöller his case was that he compromised. He lived, but he repented, and then but he suffered for it. He still went to prison. But this one took the right decision. He also went to prison, but he didn't compromise. But this guy is actually more famous and much greater, even in Germany itself, than Martin. But I mean Martin Niemöller. But all of them are great because all of them later lived and died for what they believed. So I would like to encourage all of us to stand for something. Because if we don't stand, tomorrow I will talk about Martin Luther King Jr. Maybe that should be a good one too.
Yes, sir.
Should I talk tomorrow or day after tomorrow? I think I could do it tomorrow. Tomorrow I will talk about Martin Luther King Jr. Slušaj. Umeja tačnenje naše. Nada prinestivne vodete. Anata kini prinesla. I'm going to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. And his own principles as well. So I'm going to talk. Господи, Karoshi, come and help me. Come and continue with your pomada everywhere. Obi is here. Pastor Obi is here. So make it continue. They are the young ones. They are the ones who know the Kardashian and the Beyonce. So let them tell me. I know the Bonhoeffer. I know the DIETRICH. And the Niemöller, those are the ones I know. I don't know these other ones.
Yes, sir. Good evening, beautiful people. It's nice to be here. It's been a while, and in fact, this is a surprise. Pastor wasn't expecting me, but I, decided to surprise him this evening. Yeah. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Listening to all the series that Pastor has been, sharing all this while. Well, what can I add here? In life. Right now, amongst, as we call ourselves, the chosen ones, we tend not to go the hard way. We want it to be easy for us. Even for what we believe in, we want it to be easy. We don't want to suffer for it. But it's very simple. You have to be ready. As you are part and as you believe in that particular purpose, you're against a movement, you're against something happening. It's not enough just to wait for it to finish and then you come and help. Then you bring your donation, to feed somebody or to treat somebody. No. Like it was said earlier, bring the spoke into that wheel, into that system, into that machine, into the death machine. That is your job. And when you are doing that, you should not be afraid to die for it. But Christians nowadays, most of the pastors nowadays, some of them have like 100 bodyguards that their congregation cannot even come up to them to shake their hands. What are they scared of? So, we should be ready to suffer for what you believe in. You should be ready to suffer, to bear the pains, even when you stand, even when you come out to speak against evil. It's not enough just to keep quiet, because I believe that silence sometimes in such cases becomes agreement to what is going on. It becomes agreement to it. So if you keep quiet, in my place, there's a saying that an old man cannot sit and watch and let a she-goat give birth with the rope tied to his neck. You're supposed to remove the rope from the neck, and the she-goat will go and find a very nice spot, comfortable spot, to be able to give birth. But when an old man does that, that's already very wrong. Most of you understand what I'm talking about. So, in this case, you people take yourself as the old man, and being old in this case is like you are wise. You are a wise man. It's when you have to take responsibilities, stand up for the truth. No matter what anybody thinks about you, no matter what anybody says about you. I mean, I've faced this, and I'm still facing it today because I stand up and I say, no, this is wrong. I've been called names. I don't know. That's a different story for another day. So, when you are sure of your belief, don't think of self-preservation in this case now. You stand up. Stand up for something, no matter the cost, like Sister T.Y. is saying. So, my wonderful people, all the series that Pastor Sandra has been sharing and has been handling all this period, I mean, DIETRICH's case is something wonderful. It is something different. How many of us can do this? How many of us can stand up and risk? Somebody asked earlier, is it like what he did? Is it not like going for a suicide mission? There's a difference here. Let me try and answer that question. There's a difference here. When you are going for a suicide mission, you are like, in most cases, taken as a tool. And what you are going to do is like, it's out of emotions. Most of these people that go for suicide missions, like you had the kamikazes during this, Japanese kamikazes during the Second World War, it was an act of desperation. They couldn't stop the machine that was coming. They were just thinking that let's just go and do something. It wasn't for a purpose. Somebody going for suicide mission is going to die. He's just going to die. But not necessarily that he's going to make an impact. He's made to believe that he's going to create an impact. And he's choosing just to die. But when you have the goal there, you are going to make an impact. This is the difference here now. You are going to say it, do it, and if it means dying, then you die. There's a difference there. There is a difference there. And most people who are like who go for who are like kamikazes, or let me call them, going for suicide missions, they are always like tools, like I mentioned earlier. They've been so much indoctrinated, they've been so much brainwashed, and they are sent by somebody behind them. But somebody who's really chasing, who has a purpose, who's going for, going there to change something, he goes himself. He goes there to lead and to walk. And that is the difference here, like DIETRICH. So, let's put those two things aside, okay? What are people saying? Any questions? Anything maybe I can ask again? Who else is talking? Okay, who else is talking? All right, and here comes... Okay, beautiful people, God bless you all. It's nice to see you, and I hope to be here again tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. All right.
Hello, everyone. So, as I was listening to Pastor speak, one thing that struck me also is the suicide thing, because I've been suicidal and at a very young age, and I think the difference between a suicide mission and being willing to die for the kingdom of God is just the difference between selfishness and love. When you are on a suicide mission, or when you are suicidal in any degree, it's just selfishness. It's just you focused on glorifying yourself. It's you focused on justifying yourself. It's you focused on vindicating yourself. But when you are willing to die for a cause, for the cause of the kingdom of God, you are willing to lay down your life for the benefit of others. It comes out of love. It comes out of wanting to save people, wanting to protect people, wanting to give people a voice. It doesn't matter how many stones are thrown at you if it means that they are not continue to be thrown at people who can't defend themselves, at people who can't stand up for themselves, or people who don't know, people who can't stand up for themselves. It comes from a different place of your heart. And that's why the matters of the heart are much more important to God than the steps that you take. You might be going to your death, but if you're going to your death in order to protect people, in order to stand up for people, in order to, bring light, in order to stop silence, then that's living, actually. That is actually more life than it is just to be walking around or trying to preserve your own life. There is more life in living for the cause of people and living for the cause of love and doing what God actually wants you to do for other people's life, even if that means the end of your life, because that kind of way of living is more fulfilling. You'd be surprised when you are able to let go of your life in that way, out of love. You are living more, like 10 times better, life. I can't tell you how my life changed from the time that I wanted to commit suicide to the time that now I'm ready to just give my life to whatever God asked me to give my life to. Doesn't matter if I'm starving, doesn't matter if I don't have the car, if I don't have the big house, if my friends are getting this, and my friends are doing that. It doesn't matter to me anymore, because what God showed me there is that people will have all the things that life has to offer and be dead. They'll be walking dead. I don't know if you've watched the show, zombies. They'll be walking through life dead because they have not found out the truth of life is to be willing to give over your life to something greater than yourself. And, we hear this often from many different great people, but we don't take them seriously. We almost think, oh, well, that's just you. But no, that's each of us. Each of us will find fulfillment when we find the thing that is greater than us, that is greater than even humanity. It is love, something that envelopes, something that covers all. And I think that's the difference. That's the thing that really struck me, is that, yes, thank you for the person who brought up the suicide mission thing, because I think that is a big thing to distinguish. We hear about religious people from other religions as well as in Christianity that are willing to do obscene things, just for the glory of their religion. But that too is selfishness. If you're here to glorify Christianity higher than the principles of Christ, then that's idolatry. And it sounds funny, but the truth is that when we attach ourselves more so to our name of Christian, and we don't actually follow or demonstrate the principles of Christ, we are in idolatry. We are actually blind. We actually can't see that we're no better than the unbeliever. We're no better than the person who is doing wrong. We're no better than the people we point fingers at, if we are more attached to our self-preservation as Christians, and we are not willing to actually do what Christ did. So that's what I will say about that. Pastor also mentioned, I don't know how on topic this is, but he did also mention actresses, so I kind of feel compelled to talk about that as well, because I know that there was a time in my life where I didn't have any purpose, and during that time, I wanted to die. That was actually my period of suicidal living. But then after that time, I found what I wanted to do, and that was acting, and I had it planned out. I knew what I was going to do from point A to point Z, and I was going to do theater, and I was going to do this, and in the middle of it, in the middle of me going after what I wanted, God said, throw all of that away, and I want you to focus on film and television. And I cried, because I knew I was giving up something that was certain, or something that I thought was certain, the life that I had planned for myself. And so I guess this is kind of on topic. I was giving up what I knew I could do for something that God was telling me that he wanted me to do. Just like, I forgot, what's his name, Derek? Okay. Just like Derek, he was at a point in his, Dietrich. Okay, he was at a point in his life where his life was planned out for him. He had already accomplished so much. He had already had the way paved for him. And he had to make a decision. Am I going to live the life that I planned for myself? Or am I going to take the opportunity that God has set before me to make a statement for the principles? And I think that's what happened to me, is that I had to then go from choosing the life that I had planned for myself to the life that God had planned for me to have, because that life would ultimately not only be more fulfilling for me, but also more impactful to the world. And in throwing away my own plans and just living day by day, trying to follow God and where he's leading me to go, I've had more fulfillment, more joy, more adventure, more peace, more lessons that I've learned. I've gained more wisdom, trusting God that he was going to use my life to his greatest, dream for me than I would have ever if I had just followed my own plan or just tried to preserve my own idea of success or trying to preserve my own idea or my own idea of what I should pursue. Had I just gone to do theater in New York, nobody would hear from me. You guys wouldn't even know me. I would have just been following my own steps. But, God told me, he said, at this point when I was making the decision, he said, you can get everything that you want, but that's all that you'll ever get. If you follow me, I'll give you more than you can ever hope, dream, or imagine. So that's what I would like to leave you with. If you're worried about speaking up or going out and doing something or going out and doing that thing that God has put in your heart, remember that you can do and you can accomplish and get all the things that you want, but that's all that you'll have. And you're not even sure if that will be fulfilling. But if you follow God and his unction on that, still small voice he's put in your spirit to lead and guide you, you will have more than you could ever hope, dream, or imagine. So that's what I like to leave you with. If anyone else has.
Wow, that was Caro-wise, as usual. Yeah. Hello, everyone. You'll be seeing my face a lot this period, so get used to it. My name is Nkiro Jimado, or Nikki, as you wish. Hello, everyone. So we are on this fight, or on this movement, to stop the deception, to stop manipulations that we see, not only in the church, but in our society, wherever we find ourselves. No more silence, right? Time to keep on speaking up. So this example of, what's his name? DIETRICH, yeah, is a wonderful one because he left his comfort zone, because most of us are so used to staying in our comfort zone, right? We are so used to saying, it has nothing to do with me. Some people even call it family affair. Oh my goodness. If you've been following me on Facebook recently, I have been attacking these issues because I understood now that one of the reasons that I went to the city that I am now with my family is this, to tackle some evil that has been going on for ages in those churches that are in my city that people have been keeping quiet on. So this is one of the reasons that we are there. That is now my revelation. So if someone starts quoting the Bible for me to keep quiet, what do I do about those evil that I see? Should I keep quiet too until Jesus comes to settle the problem? Then why am I in that city? If I say that I am his mouthpiece that we call ourselves, I am his representative, what are you doing about the evil in your city? What are you doing about the evil that you see? That is a question for you. Or will you say you don't see any evil? That means you're not really looking well. Ask God to open your eyes to see the evil in your city that you're supposed to tackle, because we all say that we are the light of the world, yeah? We are the candle put on the hill, all those verses that we preach and we quote concerning our lives. Now it's time to practice it. Now it's time to manifest. Now it's time to do. After praying, what do? You have to go and kill the evil in your city. Or even if you cannot solve it personally, you have to raise the awareness so that people will do. People will do something about it, those that are in the power to do it. So no more silence, my people. Any evil you see in your city, if you had the opportunity to hear it, if God gave you the honor to see it, if God gave you the honor to hear about it, you are the one to bring solution to it. You have to speak up. You have to do something about it. No more silence. God will hold you accountable. That's exactly what I hear about my own issue, about the issue in my own city. God will hold me accountable if I keep on saying it's family matter. Is the anointed, we are not supposed to touch them. But recently, I have to understand that every one of us that have received Jesus Christ as his Savior is an anointed. He says, I have anointed you to set captives free. And that is our mission in our fields, in our societies, in everywhere we find ourselves. We are oracles of God. We are his mouthpiece. To quote that we should leave the weed to grow together with the crop or whatever till Jesus comes to weed, I don't think that that is the right thing. Okay? Let's keep on speaking against every evil we see. Every silence is just saying yes to that evil. Okay? We must not wait until it touches our families. We must not wait until it comes to, to our doorstep before we know that we will talk. But apart from that, like Maiwa says, that using that example is selfish. The fact that you are a representative of Christ in your society. As a church, we are supposed to. But now we understand now that this is not the building that is the church, that is me and you that is the church. So why are you quiet? I thank God that most of us are speaking up now. I thank God for Facebook, because most people will not invite you to their churches to talk, but you have the greatest platform on earth to speak the truth, and that is social media. Some say, why should you attack these problems on social media? That social media is not for such. What should we use? It's so funny. We can preach to the unbelievers on social media, but we can use social media to attack the evils that we see in our worship places. I think it's hypocrisy, okay? So let's start standing up, speaking against every evil in the society, because the Lord, Jesus Christ, is in heaven, but he lives in me and in you. So we are supposed to represent him. Yeah. My strategy is condemn the evil, but don't condemn the sinner. Because in most of my posts, some people are asking, say the name. I'm not saying any name. I am speaking against the evil, because I don't know if the guy that did the thing or is doing the thing has reconciled with the Lord. So it's not my duty to start calling his name. Okay? Just like the man on the tree said, tonight you will be with me in paradise. So it's all left for him and God to decide. But the sin and the evil must be condemned. But the sinner, we live in for God. Okay? So stand up for the evil you see in your society. Be a voice for someone. Because most people, they are so intimidated to talk. That is what I have seen. Most people are so afraid to talk. But you can. So why should you be quiet? Think about that. Okay, Queen Julie is coming to continue. Okay. Pastor ID, he said he's not a pastor, but we have made him one. So, there you are.
Good evening, everyone. This is ID. I'm not a pastor. I'm just an ID.
For now. Meanwhile.
Good evening. Wow. My mentor awoke me from my sleep. He awoke me because I was trying to be so nice and so calm. I awoke from my sleep. Let me give you a quote. Anywhere you see injustice today, somebody was silenced over injustice yesterday. And anywhere there will be injustice tomorrow. Somebody is silenced over evil today. Let me repeat the quote again. Anywhere you see injustice today, somebody was silenced over injustice yesterday. And if there will be injustice tomorrow, somebody is silenced over evil today. I hope you got that. And another quote is, we don't die in an attempt to speak against injustice, but we die when we are silenced over evil. Let me repeat it again. We don't die in an attempt to speak out against injustice, but we die when we are silenced over injustice, over evil. My mentor woke me up today. I am awake. In the world of controversy, I will go gaga. That is a Nigerian language. And for my take home this evening, it says, silence in the face of evil is itself evil. Not to speak is to speak, and not to act is to act. So I'm asking everybody on the platform, you should wake up. This is a wake-up call for everybody. You know, there are some churches that they are brainwashing their members that they want to prepare them to go to heaven. But these people are building mansions here on earth. Will the mansions go to heaven? They are in business. That business is called real estate. And it is only in real estate that is real. So we have to speak out. My generation is a generation of the sons of Issachar that understand the time. And this is the time that we are going to boycott all those cathedrals. And if you note now, I give you statistics. If you go to Nigeria, the numbers of churches building that we have is more than schools, is more than schools combined, and it's more than libraries combined. You have a lot of churches. I'm going to speak out, let government confiscate all the churches and turn them into libraries. See, until I traveled to Europe, that I was able to see that every street we have libraries. But in Nigeria, in Africa, every street you have churches. As I'm speaking to you, in my own house, we have 3 churches in my house back home. So I'm calling them to give them quick notice. So I don't want you to be silent over this injustice, over this organized religion in Nigeria and in Africa. It's time for us to liberate our people. Thank you, everyone. Julie is coming.
Hello, everyone. So I took a few notes for doing the teaching, because really Pastor just gives us so much, and if you don't take notes, you really miss out. That is what I confirmed for myself. What I want to start with is that the story of Dietrich Bonhoeffer really, really, to me, is such a beautiful story, because at some point we all will die, right? Every one of us will die someday. And the question really is not when are we going to die or how are we going to die, but what is it that we're going to die for? Because it's inevitable. And I think we as Christians really have to ask ourselves that question. What is it going to be that we will die for? Are we just going to die because, you know, our body is going to give up and we were just there and we had nothing to do? Or are we going to die for something that was worth dying as Christians? And we have to imagine ourselves the situation that Dietrich Bonhoeffer was in, because he just got married. He was at the place where he would actually deserve to enjoy his comfort. Yeah. You know, to really be in a place where everyone would say that's an excuse you could have to say, let me relax, let me enjoy my time. But how many of us are in situations where we don't even enjoy the place that we are in? We, you know, complain about everything around us and we try to escape that situation. And there is a place where we are needed, but we don't go there. We say, oh, maybe I'm not that uncomfortable after all. So we stay where we are, even though we're not happy. So we find all these excuses not to do anything. And at the end of the day, we say, I didn't do anything, but that's exactly it. We didn't do anything. And to me, this is just so striking, because how can someone who's in such a state of comfort, of earned comfort, something that he deserves, leaves it in order to die for a cause that he believes in order to die for the truth? Who's going to be ready to do that? So that really struck me, especially during this teaching today. And the other thing that I want to say is that this is something that especially applies to us Africans in the diaspora, who are talking about home, or, you know, who are considering to go home, but who know that home is actually in need of us, and we don't do anything. All we do is complaining about politics, you know, and corruption, and all these people who have their fingers in Africa, who are exploiting us, and who are doing this, who are doing that. But we're not doing anything. We're just sitting in our comfort that is not even comfortable, and we're just pointing fingers. I think this is really a shame. I think that this is something that really put God into a very, very bad light, especially for us. You know, we as a Black community everywhere in the world, most of us consider ourselves Christians, and we say that, you know, we are blessed and we have Christ in our hearts and all of these things. But where are the actions that actually prove that? So I also have to share a quick story about myself, because before I came to Ukraine, I was in Ireland, and I was speaking to someone and telling her about the plans that Dr. Sunday has, and that I'm joining this team, and, you know, what we're going to do in Africa and Nigeria. And the person was saying, oh my God, but, you know, Julie, you're so young, and this place, you know, all these places, they're corrupt, and it's very dangerous. People get killed there, and all of these things, and trying to instill all that fear in me. But that same person, as we were talking before we came to that topic, she was telling me, we were talking about the world, and she was saying, there's so much evil going on in the world, and if there's a God, so what is he doing? Because we were talking about Christianity and all of these things. And I mean, most of us Christians, we would not say if there's a God, you know, why do we have all that nonsense going on in the world? But because we don't do anything, we're actually saying the same thing. We're actually asking the same question. Where is this God if, you know, so much evil is going on in the world? So we should really ask ourselves what type of Christians we want to be. What types of Christians are we? And what does that mean? What does that mean to God? And what does that mean when we have to leave this earth? When the time comes for us to leave this earth, what have we left with? What is it that we have done in order to leave this world? Because at the end of the day, the truth will come and hunt us. It will come and hunt us if we don't stand up for it. So that's all I have to say.
Hello everyone, good evening. I find the story really interesting, so I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. With this guy, I come from DIETRICH. DIETRICH. I find it really interesting that with all the choices that I made, which was really totally selfless, newlywed, going back to Germany, and only 2 weeks before the war ended, he died. That was the most significant part for me in this, because sometimes, we think that there's the reward of doing the right thing is also living to see the benefits of it, or even surviving. We always choose the right thing because we think, okay, if I choose the right thing, I would always get the right result. The right reward. But it got me thinking that what is right, I know it's in the Bible already, but I didn't connect it. What is right in our eyes, that is not what is right in God's eyes. And also now I've learned that, self-preservation, thinking that this earth is the most important thing and you want to hold on to it and stay on this earth, is really not. Because God could have spared him if he wanted to, but I believe there's a better place and there's something better for him in heaven. So why should he be here on earth? I know we're mere mortals and, we don't know what is in heaven. We've only experienced earth. But we really are not experiencing the greatness of this earth if we're not living in truth and we're not doing something that is morally right. And I'm sure that in our hearts of heart, because I experienced this, and I'm sure even you listening to me now individually, you know that you made so many choices in the hope at the time that you were enjoying something, but that thing was short-lived. It didn't last. Use those lessons of those past experiences to make the right choices now. Don't continue to make the wrong choices or do something that is comfortable or is comforting to you because it is comforting now. We have all done it, and some of us continue to, but you can put a stop to it. Only you can put a stop to it. So remember this guy, and always remember also that you might not end up, enjoying life as you know it, but there's going to be a better reward for you. And it might not be here. I have never been to heaven before, but I know that just the story, just being able to tell the story in history, this guy will stand forever. And, you might say, well, I don't want to stand forever. I just want to live my life on this earth. No, yes, you can say that. But living your life on this earth is really, that makes it peaceful and comforting, is from God, and it's from you doing the right thing. It's not by you doing what you think at this point in moment that it makes you feel good for that one point. There's so much more to life, and there's so much more, there's so much more that you don't know. So just do what is right and what is moral to do. So I really, I was really impressed with him, and I was amazed that he died. Well, maybe not amazed is not even the right word, but that's a big lesson for me that I will never forget, that he died 2 weeks before. So to me, it seems like everything that we said about the guy up until even when he died were great things. Why would somebody like this die? So maybe he also answers many questions like, why do righteous people suffer? Why do babies die? People that haven't committed sin. This earth is not everything that, it's the best. There must be much more. And God has got much more better things for us. I'm not asking anybody to commit suicide so that they can go to heaven sooner. But while you're here, you have to do everything right and truthful. Be absolute in truth. Do all you can, even if it hurts you at that point, and even if you cannot see a reward that is pleasing to you or that you understand. Just know what is right, because God is giving you sound mind, and use that sound mind to make the right choices. There are millions of people on earth during the time of this guy, and only him that we're talking about now in 2017. And I'm sure that we will be talking about him and other people even after I've left this world. Maybe they might talk about me. I hope that they do talk about me in a positive way. But don't sit there and say, we all make a lot of excuses. This is also should be to people that are married, they have children, they make excuses. I can't do this because I'm married. I can't do this because of my children. I'm this, I'm that. This is somebody, it's a guy, or you might now say that, oh, it's a guy, because I'm a woman, it's a different case. When there is a true will, and that will is the will that is aligned to God, you will find a way to do it. But if you want to continue to do something selfishly and do it because of you, you'll get the reward of selfishly. And that's you lacking contentment. You will still not be content. I'm telling you this from experience. You know, I did everything that I wanted to do, and I did them selfishly because I think this is better all the time. It doesn't matter what you have. You will not be content. Your heart will not be content. So you might be living and smiling and, you know, pretending that everything is fine, but it's not fine. And you know that in your heart. So please take a leaf from this guy's courage, this guy's honesty, his moral standing, everything, and use it. You know, look at parts of his life that could help you, to develop in the way that you're supposed to, in the way that your creator intended for you. And, you know, always find him to align your ways with his ways. You know, it's just, truth is absolute, and not being quiet because it suits you, not being silent because it doesn't rock the boat, not being silent because it makes you look good in front of somebody. You know, what makes you good look good in front of God? I think a lot of the time as well, we want to look good in front of human being, but we don't care how we look in front of God. And we say that we're Christian and we're children and sons and daughters of God, but we're not. And because if we are, we will think about what makes us look good in front of him, not in front of men. Okay? So that's all I want to share about this. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. That's it. I'm sure you guys have been blessed greatly by this program. That's a character there, DIETRICH BONHOEFFER. DIETRICH BONHOEFFER. Well, so I hope we'll be able to make the right decision. And again, I want to commend all those people who are out there and who have started to speak out. So let's begin to speak out. Okay. Olusegun Dada says, DSA family, please, we really need to speak out and save the church from this end-time robbery. I just listened to a message now where the speaker also ended by asking for 50 people who could donate $1,000 each. Imagine, and saying she felt, a woman, she felt led by the Holy Spirit to do so. That's why every one of us must begin to talk out. We must all begin to speak out and raise our voices. And thank God for the movement against deception in the church. So please join and let us, raise our voice and begin to stand for what is right, what is true. All right. Have a wonderful, please go and share the message if you have not yet shared it. And I will see you tomorrow. But tomorrow we have Ask Pastor Sunday. We have 3 live programs tomorrow. We have Ask Pastor Sunday, then we have Kingdom Fruits, and then we have the continuation of the Plague of Silence. So tomorrow I'm talking, like I said, in the evening about Martin Luther King Jr. God bless you guys.